Hello and welcome back. This is episode 17 of my Realignment 2028 series as the expansion Oakland A's. And we are to the playoffs of the 2031 season. We finished the season 98 and 64. Excellent record. Second in the AL, though, to the Detroit Tigers, who won 104 games. So they're definitely the team to beat this year, I think. Yeah, we are facing off in the first round, the division series against the Texas Rangers. I realized as I go into the game here, I didn't bother to fix the stadium, so let me do that off camera real quick, and I'll also see if I can rename the various rounds of the playoffs to what they actually are, so we can get into that. First, though, before I forget, let me go through our playoff rosters. So the starting rotation for us will be Swim, Bello, Ferris in game 1 through 3. Likely Sieber in a game 4, although this is a 5 game series, so I might look to pitch, I could do Swim on short rest, or Sieber in a possible game 4. Probably would look to do Sieber and then Swim in a possible game 5. But yeah, that's kind of what these three are pretty locked in for our three starting spots. And we are going with a 13-man bullpen. I know I went with a 12-man bullpen last year, but that got us into a bit of trouble when we had one of the long games and our bullpen was pretty short-handed. I think there was one game that went to like the 13th inning. It wasn't anything like the marathon affair in our first playoff season against the Yankees, where I think game 3 of that series went to 16 innings and we used just about every arm we had in the bullpen. But also, if you look and see, like, I don't really have anyone that I'm itching to use that last roster spot on. Could do maybe Wade Shelley as a pure pinch runner, which is not the worst thing. Pinch runner slash defensive replacement. I could maybe talk myself into that, but I'll just roll with 13 men in the bullpen for now. Our closer will remain Chris Bourgeois. I also, instead of using Gavin Jones as a starter, I think what I'm going to do is use him as a stopper. And he will be our, closer slash setup slash whenever we need an arm guy, he'll be there. He's got 70 stamina, so he should be able to work in multiple games in this series. I think that's probably the best use of him. It was either him or one of the other starters. Like, one of these guys had to slide to the bullpen, right? And Jones is coming off an injury. He's got like the really effective 3 pitch mix. And I don't know. I just think it makes sense for him to go here, versus someone like Swim or Bello or Ferris, who, yeah, just probably instead of. You could make an argument for Ferris maybe, but I like Jones, I think, in the pen. Swim, no. Swim and Bello both have more pitches that are not as good. Ferris has 2 really good pitches, one okay pitch, well, good pitch in his fastball, and then an okay pitch in his changeup. Meanwhile, Jones has 1 really good pitch, 2 good pitches, and 1 okay. So, like, I think it roughly balances out, but I think Ferris has done a little better over the season. Jones is also coming off of injury. Sieber just looks like, I don't know, for someone I'm going to use as a 4th starter. Yeah, I think he's more effective in that role than as a reliever. So, anyway, Bourgeois will be our closer. He's, been lights out all season. He'll get quite a bit of leeway in the playoffs. Otherwise, we'll go to Jones. we're going to use some mix of Leiter, Fernandez, and Sterling as setup men. Sterling has been the best by FIP this season, but lower sample size. And then Fernandez and Leiter both have good ERAs, but a little bit questionable FIP. Um, has been better than Leiter overall, I'd say. But both of those guys could see play. Burke and Bautista are middle relief arms. They will probably be some of the last guys I would throw in. And then if we need long relief, we've got Strapadopoulos, Imanaga. Sieber I threw in there for now just because, I like to have the option in the first 3 games. Like if someone gets absolutely blown up, we might throw Sieber in there to kind of take the hit. And, it's the playoffs. Every game matters a lot. And so probably we'd use Strapadopoulos or Imanaga in that role over Sieber, keep Sieber rested for a game 4. But we have options that way at the very least. And as far as our lineups go, we're going with from top to bottom. Let's just go by position actually. Baldwin is our starting catcher. That's not a surprise here. Kinney starting first base. This is against right-handed pitching, by the way, because the lineups will change a little bit against lefties, I believe. Volpe are starting second baseman, Coffey at third, Santana at short, and then the outfield is Keyshaw, PCA. Connor Griffin gets the start at right field. He deserves it. And then DeJesus. It's questionable, I think, DeJesus or Kurtz in the DH spot. DeJesus has been hotter towards the end of the season, even against righties, so I'm going to go with him for now. Ride the hot hand. Hopefully, he keeps that up. 1 second. All right, sorry about that awkward break there. We are... and then line up top to bottom, PCA leading off, Coffey, Baldwin, Kinney, Keyshaw, DeJesus, Santana, Volpe, Griffin. Kind of just OPS top to bottom. I like putting my best hitters at 1, 2, and 4. DeJesus, small enough sample size where I'm just kind of sticking him in the middle of the lineup there. And then against left-handed pitching, largely the same, except Coffey and Kinney both take a seat as Sharpton slots in at first base and Perdomo slots in at third base. They're both just better hitters against left-handed pitching. So kind of a mix there. And then as backups, we've also got Kurtz, who's going to maybe get some DH time in there somewhere, and Moss, who's our backup catcher. We might also try to do something. I know we've done a few games in past series where he starts at catcher and Baldwin gets some time at DH so that we can keep his bat in the lineup here. So that is the roster that I'm going with. So let me figure out how to do an actual custom stadium here so we can get Oakland Coliseum in here, since I believe we will be playing at home in game 1. We will. And also I want to rename the playoff rounds. So let me do that real quick, and then we'll get into game 1. Game 1 here, about to start. So I wasn't able to rename the playoff rounds, but I did get Oakland Coliseum imported here, so this should be a much better vista than the former Sutter Health Park minor league field, that I kind of adjusted the settings to fit the old Oakland Coliseum. So let's take a look here at the Texas lineup real quick. We did, I think, go over them, but Wyatt Langford, probably their best hitter. They have him leading off. Paulino Santana, a dangerous looking hitter, 2.1 WAR on the season. He was hot in their series against Kansas City. Heherson Sapo, rookie that had a decent year here across 34 games. Sebastian Walcott looks solid at shortstop. He's also a dangerous looking hitter. Austin Wells at catcher, definitely a dangerous hitter. Yeah, he had 2 hits in the deciding game against Kansas City. Caleb Bonemer playing second. Noelvi Marte at third. Corey Seager still hanging out and playing first base at age 37. Brandon Marsh plays center field for them, and he's got a pretty good glove. Yeah, looks like they traded for him from Vegas. So at the trade deadline, they picked him up for Xavier Hillman, who's a decent looking pitching prospect. Oh, and I hit start game instead of looking at our lineup, but I think we've been over our lineup already. Armstrong, Coffey, Baldwin, Kinney, Keyshaw, DeJesus at DH, Santana, Volpe, Griffin, and then on the mound to start the game is Karsten Swim. I also turned the crowd and ambient volume way down because I noticed when I did some like boosting and audio things in the last playoff series, it just boosted that up way higher than I would want. So hopefully this is better for you guys as Swim strikes out the leadoff batter Langford. Nice job there. 1 out as Paulino Santana will step in. And he does put that in play, but that's easily playable for Coffey, I believe. And yeah, Santana goes down. Sapo will step in. And he hits it, but right to the mound as Swim catches it. No issues there. 1-2-3 inning. Let's see if we can get to Ryan Lobus, who's taking the mound for the Rangers today. He doesn't have a lot of stamina, so hopefully, yeah, he hasn't actually made a single start for them this season, so maybe more of a bullpen game potentially, or using him as an opener, perhaps. We'll have to see, but yeah, we'll go against Lobus here with PCA leading off. And PCA holds up and gets to first base on a walk. So he is a dangerous person on the base paths. We'll see if he decides to run. Austin Wells doesn't have the best arm. He does not run. And that's hit hotly to third. And the speed of PCA, I think, forces that to just be 1 out. Fielder's choice for Coffey as Baldwin will step in. And Baldwin delivers base hit up the middle. So first and second with just 1 out. Cooper Kinney will step in. He's kind of had a bit of a redemption this year. Let's see if he can deliver now in the playoffs. As of right now, no, that's a strikeout for him. Keyshaw will step in. He also had a good season. So let's see here how he can do. And that is out to shallow right field and drops in for a hit. With PCA at second. Oh, no, not PCA. That was, Coffey. Coffey went for home, and they had a good throw and got him out. I don't necessarily hate that send there with 2 outs. It was shallow, but it requires a good throw to get him. Yeah, aggressive on the base pass, but it doesn't pay off as it remains 0-0 heading into the second. And Swim manages to get Walcott to pop up. No problems there. As Volpe does a little Mario jump in the background for no apparent reason. Okay, Wells to the right-hand side and through for the first hit of the game. So Wells is on with 1 out and Bonemer up to the plate. Bonemer strikes out. Nice job there by Swim. And Marte will step in. And that's hit well down the line, but cut off successfully by Griffin. Griffin with a nice throw, but still safe at third base, just a little bit late. So now first and third with 2 outs, and Corey Seager will step in. Seager works a full count and strikes him out. Nice job by Swim getting out of the inning there. DeJesus steps in. He's got the hot hand as of the end of the season. He gets the nod here, the rookie, but does ground it out here to the first baseman. So 1 out in the inning now, and Santana will step in. Santana hits one to shallow center field, and it does drop in for a hit. So we have Santana on. He's also a threat to run with Volpe at the plate. He deals a nice diving stop by the shortstop, but they mishandle the throw. The throw is high and into the outfield. So yeah, they don't get any outs from that, despite keeping it on the infield. As Connor Griffin will step in with a chance to score some runs here. Let's see what he can do. As he also delivers a grounder to the shortstop. That could be trouble. They turn one and flips to first for the double play. So Griffin grounds out into the double play. No runs again. Still locked at 0 as Brandon Marsh steps in. Little dribbler in front of the plate, but that shouldn't be any problems for Baldwin, I imagine. Yep, that is 1 out. Langford back up. He's been cold in the playoffs, but he is their best hitter, so definitely have to watch out for him as he hits one deep-ish to right field, or left field, but playable for Keyshaw. Santana now steps in. And that's down the third base line, but through for the base hit. But he does get held at first with a single. Sapo will step in now and strike out. So Swim, that's his 4th strikeout of the game. Nice job there. He's managed to get out of every inning successfully so far. A decent amount of hits, but no offense to show. Although, as I say that, Pete Crow Armstrong hits one deep and into the stands. That's PCA with a solo shot. Right as I was talking about how there's no offense, he delivers the solo shot to make it 1-0. Nice job there. Coffee will step in now with 2 out, or no 1 out, 2 strikes, and he strikes out. Baldwin hits a grounder to the third base side and playable. Marte throws him out with no issues. Kitty is up and strikes out. Lobus strikeout number 3. It is a 1-0 ball game though, so Swim up to 51 pitches. Kind of got to keep an eye on that. Strikeout there for Swim. I think that's his 5th strikeout so far today, as he's doing well. And that's a little grounder to the pitcher's side. He does field it and throw it himself. Another out there. Bonnemer steps in with 2 outs, and that's hit right to Volpe. That's a 1-2-3 inning again for Swim. Nice job there. Let's see what Keyshaw can do. The bottom of the 4th. And he hits one over the first baseman's head and into right field for a base hit. Nice job. Leadoff hitter is on. And Keyshaw, definitely a threat to steal. I believe he led our team in steals, as DeJesus will step in. He's 0 for 1 today. Keyshaw does, in fact, steal, and he is safe. So Keyshaw gets himself into scoring position. Let's see if DeJesus can knock him home. We'd love that insurance run. And that's hit well and to the gap. That's a base hit. That'll score the run. Have to imagine that's extra bases for DeJesus as he slides into second, no problem. So DeJesus, the hot hitter, keeps it up, scores a nice insurance run. Yeah, we love to see that. Let's see if we can keep this inning going with Santana. Santana hits it to the first base side. That is playable as the pitcher covers the bag, but it does move DeJesus over to third, so now any kind of outfield hit should likely score him. As Volpe hits it well to the first base side of the infield. That is an out, but that's a fielder's choice as DeJesus scores. It's now 3-0. Nice job knocking in the run there. As Griffin steps in, he hit into a double play his last time up, but he keeps the inning alive with a base hit here. As Lobus at 55 pitches, 35 stamina, he's probably not going to go super deep into this game, I would imagine. Oh, as Griffin takes off, he's a threat to run. Gets himself into scoring position. So now PCA, who's 1 for 1 with a solo home run, strikes out. Okay, so Nothing else there, but nice job manufacturing some runs in that inning as DeJesus comes through with a double and then a nice fielder's choice by Volpe, I believe, to get us. It's either Volpe or Griffin. Either way, 3-0. 3-0. As Swim now at 64 pitches. Marte, Seager, Marsh due up. He will go through the bottom of the order at the very least. Yeah, that's hit softly enough where they end up getting the infield hit off of that. So Marte on. He's a threat to steal. Seager steps in and he is walked. So first and second, nobody out. Swim in a little bit of trouble here. But he will face Marsh for sure. Marsh strikes out. Okay, so Swim now at 76 pitches. He hasn't given up any runs. He's given up 4 hits. Wyatt Langford, is cold, but always a dangerous hitter. I think he's going to stay in, though. I mean, he's been doing well. Strike 3. Nice job getting him on the full count there. Let's see if he can get out of this inning without any damage as Paulino Santana steps in. He's been hot. And that's hit well. That may drop for a hit. It does. And that may score a run as, strong throw towards home. Sales left. Santana gets an RBI single. Okay, so I think I have to pull Swim here. His day is done. Every out is important here. And the righty matchup, let's see. Is Sapo better against righties? He is, in fact, significantly worse against righties, at least across limited sample size. So I'm going to pull Swim for a right-handed reliever. Again, his day is done. He did a great job, 4 2/3 with just 1 run allowed, and it came in his last inning out. Let's see. Versus right-handed hitting. We could go to Cam Leiter here, I think, is probably going to be the play. Yeah, Cam Leiter will step in to face Sapo. Play the righty-righty matchup in an important at-bat. Runners go on the full count, but that's hit right to Santana as he throws to first. Gets us out of the inning. So the move does pay off there as we still have a 2-run lead, 3-1. Heading into the 5th, Loeb is still out there for them. He's going to be getting tired soon. Let's see if we can knock him out of the game here. As Coffee hits one to the third base side, but playable. Seager gets the out there. Baldwin steps in. And that's down the first base line and more than playable for Seager. And he steps on the bag for the second out. Kinney has struck out twice. And he's popped up now on his 3rd time up. So not ideal for him today. He's 0 for 3, but still up 3-1 overall as Leiter will step in to face Walcott. Probably go batter by batter here. As that's hit fairly well to the right base side, or the right base. The left side of the infield, Coffee cuts it off, fires to first, 1 out. Austin Wells, he's a lefty. Have to imagine he's worse against lefties. He hits right-handed pitching well. But I think I'd like Leiter to stay in here. So he's going to face Wells. And Wells does hit it well to center field. But PCA pulls it down. No issues there. 2 outs. Bonnemer steps in. 3-1 count. He hits that one well, but that's caught by Keyshaw. Right to Keyshaw. Okay, so 1-2-3 inning. Nice job there by our pitcher. So Lobus comes back in to pitch again with 72 pitches. He's starting to get tired. He is not long for this game. I can only imagine. Probably any sort of hit would knock him out as Keyshaw grounds out to Marte. Lobus at 74 pitches to Jesus. Also hits it to Marte, and oh, that's kind of a bad throw, but still get the out there. And Santana hits one that should drop in for a hit to center field. So there is one man on now with 2 outs. They're leaving Lobus in. Okay, let's see if we can make him pay here with Volpe. As Volpe hits it well, that'll drop in for a hit into left field. Sorry. So now we have first and second. Still Lobus on the mound. They're trying to let him finish this inning. Let's see if we can get to him here as he walks Griffin. So bases loaded now with 2 outs. And they do finally pull Robus, and Alejandro Rosario will come in with 2 outs and the bases loaded. So we finally got to their bullpen. His final line, 3 runs, 9 hits allowed, 80-ish pitches. Yeah, so PCA is up. Does have a 3... Wow, and he walks PCA on 4 pitches, which does walk in a run. So that decision to keep Robus in the game doesn't pay off as we score another insurance run here. Let's see what Coffee can do with the bases loaded. Any hit will score multiple runs here. And that's hit well, but is playable for the left fielder who Langford snags it. We do get an insurance run, though, on the bases loaded walk. So Cam Leiter comes back out to face Marte. He's at 17 pitches. We do have a 3-run lead. He will probably face the bottom of the order here, and then we'll see kind of where we're at after that. Seager steps in. He's 0 for 1 today. And that's hit fairly well and deep. Potentially trouble as, yeah, it's gone. PCA watches that one fly into the seats as Corey Seager hits one to center field for a home run. Okay, let's see. We've got Marsh up, followed by Langford and a slew of righties. Yeah, I'm going to leave him in to face Marsh as Marsh hits that one into left field. Okay, so now we're getting into some dangerous territory here as the tying run in Wyatt Langford steps up to the plate, and we're going to make another move here as Langford actually hits righties slightly better than lefties. Yeah, I think this is the time where we go to Gavin Jones with 1 out in the 7th. We're going to, I think, look to have him maybe close out this game. We'll see. But I like the spot here to put him in. It's a close game. Langford a little worse against lefties as he potentially hits a ground ball. No, that's not enough to get to, as Santana will now step in. And he hits one well to the gap and does fall in for a hit. So that'll score probably at least 1 run as PCA gets it in. That's a double that scores Langford, and it's now 4-3. So, okay, Sapo is the DH. He's 0 for 3 today. Let's see if we can get out of this inning still with the lead as Santana charges in, throws to first, and that's okay. So, yeah, 4-3 ball game now as Jose A. Ferrer is in against Baldwin. Lefty-lefty matchup. We'll let Baldwin hit for himself. Kinney might get pulled for a pinch hitter, especially since he's 0 for 3 today. And Baldwin trots to first with the leadoff walk. Okay, so who do we have in terms of, well, for one pinch runner, just Perdomo as a pinch runner. 2 pinch hitter um, versus lefties. Perdomo does hit lefties well, so we can pinch hit Kinney with Perdomo. Kinney is not good against left-handed pitching, and he does not have a hit yet in this game, so Perdomo will step in and likely stay into play third, as he hits one, but playable for the center fielder, Marsh, so that's 1 out. Keyshaw hits one, that could be trouble. They do turn 1. Can they turn 2? Looks like yes. Okay, so we ground into the double play. No offense there. All right. Perdomo will stay into play third, and Coffey will shift over to first base. As Gavin Jones will stay in to face Walcott, Wells, and Bonnemer. As that's hit fairly well into right field for a hit, so Jones already in a spot of trouble here. The lefty-lefty matchup against Wells, I do like that. And that's through for a hit. Man, the full count just doesn't come through. They go for the out at third, and the relay's offline. Wells heads to second. Oh, man. Okay, so Bonnemer up. Is Jones in a spot of trouble here? Bonnemer is 0 for 3 today. I think we pitch to him and pitch in the dirt. But Baldwin smothers it. Okay. Yeah. Let's see if we can get Bonnemer. As Bonnemer hits it well. And they do tag up and safe. So it is a tie ball game. We are going to Marte's 2 for 3 today. We got 2 lefties up. Although Seager's also hot. We're going to play the matchups though. Seager doesn't hit lefties as well. Marsh, I imagine, is the same. Yeah, definitely the same. Okay, so we are going to pitching strategy. Intentionally walk Marte with first base open, set up the double play, and then we'll go ahead and face Corey Seager. Dangerous putting another man on when Seager's been hot, but the lefty-lefty matchup, we'll see how Jones does here. As Seager delivers with a base hit up the middle, and they go for the play at the plate, and nothing there. My guy, what are you doing? Oh, no. So they do manage to cut it out and get the out at second, so we have 2 outs now and a man at first, with Marsh up at the plate. This will be Jones' last batter. I hate to say, but yeah, we're playing the matchup here for the lefty-lefty, and then with a slew of right-handed hitters at the top of the lineup, it'll be done. Texas does take the lead off of that, though. Oh my God, as there's a wild pitch, it scores another run. Jones just having a disastrous outing here. 3 earned runs over 1 1/3 inning, basically single-handedly blowing this game. Let's see if he can get Marsh here. As Marsh hits one that could be extra bases. No, PCA runs it down. Okay. So we're finally out of the inning, but they score 3 to take the lead, 6-4. As Jesus Lopez will step in. Either Jesus or Jesus, I'm not sure. De Jesus will come up to bat for us. Right-handed pitching. Let me see. I know we're going to want him in there, but, Perdomo might be a potential pinch hit target. Sharpton might be, where's Sharpton? When did we use Sharpton? What the heck? Why is he on the Peoria Javelinas? What the fuck? He's in the Arizona Fall League for some godforsaken reason, even though he's on my playoff roster. What the? Okay. All right. I'll have to deal with that after this game, I guess. I've never seen that before. All right. Cool. Jesus Lopez steps in. It's very important that he gets time at the Peoria Fall League, or the Arizona Fall League, instead of playing in game one of the playoffs with us. Oh my god. Okay, so Santana steps in. And he will be thrown out at first. Volpe, let's see if he can do some damage here with 2 outs. And he does at least get on base with the base hit to center field. And you have to imagine they're going for the full 6-out save for Jesus Lopez. So any extension of the inning, is a good thing here. We'd love to get some runs back. Connor Griffin is 1 for 2 today. Kurt's a little bit better of a hitter, but I think we're going to let Griffin hit for himself here. As he hits one soft grounder to the second baseman. Does he beat Volpe to the bag? He does. So that's the end of the inning, and we'll head to the 9th. Gavin Jones, his day is done. We're going to bring out... do we bring in our closer, or do we just go to someone like Sterling to try and keep it close, or even Fernandez? We'll try Sterling, given that we are losing currently in this game. As Langford steps in, hits it right to Volpe. That's 1 out. Santana is 3 for 4. Also right to Volpe for the 2nd out. And Sapo strikes out. So, nice 1-2-3 inning for Sterling. And now we have 3 chances to try and score here against Jesus Lopez. So, PCA, Coffee, Baldwin to lead it off. Perdomo in the 4 spot. If it gets to him, we will be pinch hitting against the right-handed Lopez. PCA strikes out. Coffee steps in with 1 out. He hits one fairly deep, but that's playable for the left fielder as Langford puts it away. Baldwin, our last chance here with 2 outs, bottom of the 9th. And strikes out to end the game. All right, so not the best game one. Yeah, just a very unfortunate situation here. Gavin Jones, I planned on using him as my stopper throughout the playoffs. Just an absolutely disastrous game here. Leiter came in and gave up some earned runs as well. But yeah, Jones with the 16.2 ERA, that's not what you want to see. Yeah, that has me questioning my whole playoff roster. As also, speaking of playoff roster, how do I get Scott Sharpton out of the Fall League? As he doesn't appear to be in the Fall League. Well, Salt River Rafters... Is he on? And it says DeJesus is on the Salt River Rafters too. No. DeJesus was in that game for us, so I don't know what's going on. That's such a weird. Yeah, I don't know. hopefully he will be available for us in this game because, yeah, I don't know. I'll look into this some more and, yeah, be back for game two. Game two about to start here. Yeah, we have largely the same lineup as yesterday, I think. Armstrong, Coffee, Baldwin, Kinney, Keyshaw, DeJesus, Santana, Volpe, Griffin, Bello on the mound. I think by ERA and by FIP, he might have actually been our best pitcher this year. But, you know, he will get the game two start for us. Kyle Bradish, I think, has been their best pitcher as well. They signed him in free agency. He put up 4 WAR for them this season. Very good season, 3.15 ERA. Also a little bit lucky, led the league in BABIP, it looks like. So, yeah, he's got good movement. Extreme ground ball pitcher. So, yeah, let's see if the defense behind him can hold up to snuff here. Paulino Santana, he leads off today. Seager, Langford. I think this is largely the same lineup that they rolled out yesterday. Caleb Bonemer, Brian Rinsone. No, he did not play yesterday. Okay, so a little bit of a switch against the righty. They have Brian Rinsone playing shortstop today. So we'll have to see how this goes. Obviously, you don't want to go down 0-2 in a 5-game series. Every game's important in a 5-game series, but yeah, 0-2 would be not a great situation. So need to win this one so we can head to Texas tied 1-1. Let's go. As we will get into the game here. Which, by the way, I love the actual Oakland Coliseum showing up in here. The dimensions haven't changed at all, but the actual graphical representation has here, which is way better than the Sutter Health one that was showing up before. As so far, good stuff from Bello. 2 outs, two batters, 2 outs. Wyatt Langford's been cold in the playoffs, but their best hitter throughout the year, but not fortunate this time as Coffee grabs it, throws to first, and they go down 1-2-3. Not too bad of a start. About as good of a start as you could ask for. All right, as PCA will step in against Kyle Bradish. Let's see if we can get to him early here. I'd love to see that. Force him to go to their bullpen as PCA hits it well. He's running to the gap, and that's extra bases. That gets over the center fielder's head. Marsh cannot catch up to it. And PCA slides in safely with the leadoff double. Nice job there. So let's see if Coffee can drive him in. As that is hit well to the gap, that should score a run, and that should be extra bases for Coffee too. So nice job, back-to-back doubles by our 2 1 and 2 spot hitters. That's a great start to the game. We're up 1-0 as Baldwin will step in. And he hits one down the right field line, shallow enough where that should only be a single, but with Coffee being a fairly good runner, and they're off target with the throw. Now we're up 2-0. All right, so we are getting to Bradish early here. Love to see that. As Kinney strikes out. I think he's 0 for 5 so far in the playoffs, something like that. Keyshaw strikes out. All right, and DeJesus will step in. And he draws a walk, so we have runner in scoring position now for Adrian Santana. As the 2-strike pitch skips away, and now we have 2 runners in scoring position here. A hit should score 2 after that wild pitch. Let's see if Santana can deliver here. He was 2 for 4 yesterday. And Santana drives it down the line, but right to Marte. So we don't get any more, but we do get on the board up 2-0 in the first. Love to see that, getting up early. As strike 3 delivered there by Bello to Walcott, and Wells will step in now. Works a full count and hits that one to right field, shallow, and it does drop in for a hit. So that is their first base hit of the game. Austin Wells is on. Marte's been hot as Wells takes off, and not a great throw by Baldwin. So yeah, that's Wells showing off the speed, getting himself into scoring position with their hottest hitter potentially at the plate. As he hits a little dribbler to the mound, and Bello barehands it, and Marte's fast enough for that to be an infield hit. So first and third, one out. We'd really love a double play right here. Brandon Marsh has been ice cold in the playoffs, only 1 hit and 11 at bats. That's hit to center field, shallow enough where, yeah, Santana catches it, no tag from Wells, so 2 outs now with Bonham up to the plate. As that's hit well, but playable for Griffin. So 2 hits, no runs for Texas in that inning, and we're still up 2-0. As Volpe will step in for us here. And strikes out. And Griffin up to bat next. And he hits it right to the second baseman. That's an easy ground out there. 2 down. PCA came through in the first. Let's see what he can do here in the second. Oh, as the ground ball down the first baseline is bobbled by Seager. It's an error, and PCA's on. Let's see if he tries to steal here with 2 outs to get himself into scoring position. He does not, as that's hit, but shallow enough that it's not a problem for Marsh. So 1 error gets us on, but no damage there, as Bello will step back in to face Rincon. And Rincon walks. So that's his first walk of the game. Bello's first walk, and top of the order back up now. Santana strikes out. Nice job there. Seager. And Renner going, and immediately stops as he as Keyshaw grabs it and fires it back to first base. Rincon does successfully get back to first. So 2 out, man on first with Langford up to bat. And that's hit well to the gap, but PCA covering a lot of ground out there. And yeah, pulls it in. So no damage there off the walk. Baldwin is up to bat now. And he hits it up the middle, but playable for the second baseman Bonham. That's the first out of the inning. Cooper Kinney, let's see if he can get his first hit of the playoffs here. No, he strikes out. Okay. Ice cold Kinney has been so far. Keyshaw will step in. And he walks on 4 pitches. All right. So that's Bradish's second walk of the day. Keyshaw does love to steal. DeJesus. As Keyshaw does steal and looks to be safe. All right. So Keyshaw getting himself into scoring position. Let's see if DeJesus's bat can drive him in. No, he strikes out. He has fanned 0 times this postseason. Okay, that's weird, but sure. And are they doing the... Yeah, see, there's some weird glitch going on or something where DeJesus's stats aren't counting, even though he's playing in this game. What the hell? He's still on the surprise Cigarros. Somehow he's simultaneously playing in 2 games at once, and Sharpton isn't available because he's also on this at the surprise Cigarros. I don't know. That's really frustrating that the fall league takes precedence over a playoff game. I don't get that exactly. But yeah, Keyshaw And they showed as available. I even double checked before the game, like they showed as available. It obviously let me roster DeJesus and put him at the plate. Like I was like, it's weird that DeJesus has 0 average, but it doesn't show his at bats, and it's because it's not recording stats for him. Like I don't get that. And I don't know how to take them out of the fall league either. I think I've tried that, and yeah, I'll have to manually remove them after this game. It's gonna just really suck if I want Sharpton as a pinch hitter in this game and he's not available because of you know, fall league shenanigans. I've never had to worry about that before. As yeah, I'm too busy worrying about that weird glitch as they have back-to-back doubles, I believe, here, and score a run off of that. Also not great. As Bello strikes him out for out number 2. Yeah, the bottom of the order has been pretty cold for... Oh, that's a wild pitch. Okay, Bello. So that gets the runner over to third. And Bello will step in to face Bonnemer. That's hit up the middle, but playable for Volpe, I would imagine. Yep, so they do score 1 off of back-to-back doubles, but yeah, that's the inning there, as Bradish will face Santana here. And Santana strikes out. Bradish at 6 strikeouts for the day, so he's been a little all over the place, but overall effective. He's given up 2 runs. Yeah, that's his 7th strikeout now. Griffin steps in and hits it decently well, but that's playable for the left fielder. That's a 1-2-3 inning for them. Bello back up. I have Rincon, Santana, Seager. Yeah, but Bello at just 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. I think we're going to let him play here. Rincon strikes out. He will face Santana. And strikes him out there. Nice job. And he will face Seager. Strike out there. Nice job. Jose Bello strikes out the side. So he's going to get a little bit of leeway off of that, I think. Still effective despite being at, around 70, 80 pitches. PCA, let's see if we can get some more offense going here. Little dribbler in front of the plate, and that's playable for Bradish as he throws over and gets PCA for the first out. Cutter Coffee. And that's hit well, but playable for the center fielder, I believe Marsh. Yeah. That's the 2nd out of the inning, and Drake Baldwin will step in. And that's hit sharply, but right to Seager, and he'll step on first, no problem. So that's a 1-2-3 inning. Yeah, Bello now at 80 pitches with Langford, Walcott, and Wells up. I think we'll have to see how he does. I think if anyone gets on, he will not stay in to face Marte. Marte has been hot. And Langford hits one on to, yeah, hits one to right field. And Bello, yeah, goes from green to orange. Tiredness, Walcott hitting well. I think this will probably be his last batter. And then we'll go to someone else for Wells and Marte. And that's hit sharply, and extra bases down the third baseline, so maybe waited a batter too long to pull him, as that's extra bases. That scores a run. Yeah, okay, so that's going to be it for Bello. let's see. Versus left. You know, there's Gavin Jones, but I don't trust bringing in Gavin Jones after his outing yesterday. Sorry, Gavin. That's, yeah, not going to be it for me. I think it is the 6th. I don't want to bring in Bourgeois left yet, but these are some very important at-bats, too. And also the very dangerous Marte up after that. Sterling, maybe. Wells is worse against lefties. What about Marte? Marte is about the same, lefties or righties. So then maybe I will go to a left-handed pitcher here, and that means that our choices are either Gavin Jones or Imanaga or Burke. How does Burke do against righties? Not as good. You know what? It's game 2 with like a lot on the line here. Where these are very high leverage outs. We're putting in Bourgeois to get the next at least 2 outs of the inning, probably more. And he strikes out. Nice job there. Marte, he's been their hottest hitter. Like, we can't let this game get out of hand, as that's hit well deep to left field, but playable. Okay, so Keyshaw makes it, and the throw sails left. So Walcott does tag and go to third off that. And now we've got the lefty-lefty matched up for Brandon Marsh. And that's hit deep and well, but playable for Griffin. So Bourgeois does his job, keeps it at a tie, ball game 2-2. I think he will come back out for the 7th, and then we'll have to decide what we're doing after that. It's Bradish at 89 pitches. Let's see if we can knock him out of the game here. Kinney strikes out at 3 pitches. He is ice cold right now. Yeah. Keyshaw. And that drops in for a hit. Nice job by Keyshaw there. That's actually extra bases as he goes for 2. Stand-up double. So Keyshaw already in scoring position, no steal required, as DeJesus will step in. And he drives one to center field, but playable for Marsh. And that's the 2nd out of the inning, as Santana will come up to bat. And he pops it up. That's going to be the 3rd out of the inning here. Man left on base, as Bourgeois will face probably Bonnemer, Rinson, and Santana. We'll need to see what his pitch count looks like. Kind of just go batter by batter, I think. Ooh, that's extra bases. Okay. Yeah, so Bonnemer slides in with a double, and now Rinson comes up to bat, and he's actually been decently hot, over 10 at-bats in the playoffs. And that'll drop in for a hit, and that may score a run as PCA throws the ball in. Yep, that is a run scored, and that puts the Rangers up in front. So Santana will hit. That could be 2, depending on how fast they turn it. No, they just get the out at first. Chris Bourgeois seems to be in pain, and they have to take him out of the ball game. Okay, so Bourgeois hurt. We don't know what his injury is yet. That's bad. I would say disastrous even. Yeah, he's been the one reliable arm in our bullpen throughout the entire season, and yeah, now we're without him. All right. Seager, I imagine, does worse against lefties. Yes. But then we got Langford and Walcott after him with one out. So I think we bring in Sterling here, who has been decent against lefties. Yeah, decent. And then good against righties. Yeah. So, and he can potentially pitch for, a decent amount of time. He's got 35 stamina. All right, let's see if we can keep this game under control. It's 3-2 currently. We are down, but not out. As PCA tries to run that down. Disaster. All right, that's a home run for Seager, and now it's 5-2. As Langford pops it up. I mean, maybe I should have just put in a lefty to face Seager, but yeah, I should have known Corey Seager was going to come in clutch here in the playoffs. I mean, that should have just been a given. Yeah, well, this is bad. We are now down 5-2. We need to make moves. We need to do something. As Volpe will step in. He's 0 for 2 today. Bradish had 102 pitches and still out there. Let's make them pay for this, please. Strikeout. Okay. And they do finally take him out of the game. Okay, so Kyle Hurt comes in. Former Rocky, now Ranger. As that's over this shortstop's head, so Griffin does get on with one out. And I think mostly going to let our batters hit here at the top of the order. If it gets to Kinney, he might get a pinch hit because he's been ice cold. As that drops into shallow center field, Griffin hustles over to third. They don't send him there. Yeah, all right. Coffee will step in. He's 1 for 3 today. As Seager dropped the ball. They almost nailed Armstrong at first. Coffee walks. So yeah, bases loaded now for Drake Baldwin, one of our best hitters. The lefty matchup now as they bring in the lefty against Baldwin. Do we look to match that as well? We could bring in Perdomo, or we could bring in not Sharpton. I mean, maybe we could bring in... Let's see if it'll let us bring in Sharpton. I mean, he shows up as available. Because I would want to bring him in here, actually, over... Actually, Baldwin hits lefties well. So, we're going to hold off for now. He's done well against lefties this season, and that would force us to go to our backup catcher. But Kinney will definitely be pitch hit for if this goes to him. As Baldwin hits one to shallow right field, and that drops in for a hit, so that should score one, at least one, maybe two. Baldwin, yeah, so that scores one. Bases are still loaded, and now we will make the switch and go to Perdomo to pinch hit for Coffee. As Perdomo hits it, that's playable for the left fielder Langford, though. And no tag by PCA there. All right, Keyshaw. Keyshaw's good against lefties. Yeah, good enough anyway. We could look to sub in... No, I think Cutter Coffee would be the next person we'd want to sub in against a lefty. You know, Sharpton is theoretically better than Keyshaw. And then we could do some rearranging potentially. I don't know who I'd have play left field then, if I did that. DeJesus could, but then I'd lose the DH. Perdomo is only infield positions. Yeah, so Coffee. Yeah, okay. I'll let Keyshaw hit for himself here. Alright, this is definitely a clutch situation. As Marte snags that. So we only score one off the bases loaded. 7th inning. But we do bring it a little closer. It's 5-3. As, yeah, now our lineup is incomplete. Perdomo will come in at third. Coffee will shift over to first. DeJesus up next. Sterling. And now we have Wells, Marte, and Marsh up again. So Sterling will face Wells. I think he'll face Marte. Maybe I'll let him face Wells and then bring in Leiter to face Marte, just because Marte has been crushing this game. Like, I need my best hitter or best pitcher in against him to keep this a 5-3 game. His stats hit fairly well, but oh, diving catch by Griffin. Nice job there. Yeah, I mean, it's a righty-righty matchup. I guess I'll leave Sterling in to face Marte. Let's see if I regret that here. As that's just a dribbler. Oh, as Santana bobbles it. Wow, okay. The usually sure-handed Santana bobbles it in a crucial situation here. And now Sterling will step in to face Marsh. And Marte on the move. I think he's going to be safe. Yep. So that's basically a double for him now, as Marsh now has a runner in scoring position. And that'll score, most likely. Yep. So it's 6-3. Okay. That's frustrating. Yeah, Leiter will come in to face the bottom of the order here. As runner on the move, that keeps them out of the double play. As Volpe throws to first. Marsh now in scoring position against the lefty Rinson. He's switch hitter. And he strikes out. Okay, so it is still 6-3. Jesus Lopez will be the pitcher there, as we got DeJesus, Santana, Volpe due up. And DeJesus hits it up the middle for a base hit. Nice job. And I don't think we bother pinch running when we're down 3. I don't even know who I'd pinch run with anyway. Sharpton. Yeah. We could look to pinch hit for... Well, Perdomo would be the pinch hit target probably against a right-handed pitcher. Or maybe Connor Griffin. I'm not sure about Volpe. If we get a lot of guys on, yeah, because that's a base hit. All right, so that will be DeJesus going to third, and he's safe. So first and third, nobody out. We are in business here. Volpe 0 for 3, but he will step in against Lopez. And there's a little dribbler in front of the plate. That should be playable. No, they go for the out at second. they do get the out at second. So Volpe on now with Connor Griffin stepping in. He's 1 for 3 today. Do I want to pull Griffin for Kurtz? I think I save Kurtz for a possible pinch hit situation with Perdomo. Like, that's, I think, the play here. As Griffin is 1 for 3 today. Let's see what he can do. And he hits one into shallow right field. That should score a run. All right, nice job there, making it a little closer. It's 6-4. PCA 2 for 4 today. He's hot. He is definitely someone we want at the plate. And that's driven up the middle, and they get the out at second. Do not get the out at first, so they avoid the double play. Ooh, Rincon maybe caught some spikes there on the way to second base. Yeah, Coffee will step in. 1 for 3. He is hitting 125 in the playoffs so far. Yeah, I think we still let him hit here, as he's been good versus righties all year. Just play the numbers. Oh, he strikes out. Okay, so we are down to our final 3 outs, but we do bring it a little closer. It's 6-4. Leiter will face Santana, and then I think we will bring in the lefty to face Seager after he hit a home run off us last time. Put some respect on his name, as, yeah, especially with the man on, that's going to be, yeah, but who do we have that can actually be a left-handed pitcher? I mean, we could bring in Himanaga. We could bring in Gavin Jones. But Gavin Jones does not do well against righties. Neither does Himanaga. Okay. There's Brock Burke. Our entire left-handed bullpen does not do well, minus Bourgeois, who's again hurt. So yeah, we kind of have to play the matchup game here. I think we bring in Jones as Langford. Langford's 1 for 4 today. Theoretically, he is the more worrisome target, but Leiter is awful against lefties, so I think do we bring in Gavin Jones again, or do we take our chances with someone like Imanaga? Or do we split the difference and bring in someone like Brock Burke, who's worse against lefties but slightly better against righties? That might be the play here, I think. Yeah, that's what I'm going to go with. Brock Burke, the lefty, will come in to face Seager. And that's hit well, but bobbled by the first baseman. So 2 on now for Langford. Man, okay. Really would have loved the bases empty, as that's hit decently well, but that's playable for PCA. They do tag, and the runner does safely get to third. So now 1st and 3rd with 1 out, and Sebastian Walcott up to bat. Walcott, the appeal, that loads the bases. Okay, so Burke will stay in to face Wells, and then we'll go to a righty for Marte if he gets up. Hopefully we got the double play in order here. As that's hit to left field, and they do tag. That'll likely score a run, but at this point, 1 run is fine. Whoever our best right-handed pitcher is coming in. I mean, that could be Brendan Sieber, honestly. Like, with the game on the line, we might just go to Ryan Fernandez, though. I think that's the play. Yeah, we need this out. As the ball squirts away. Okay. Well, now first base is open. I think you think about walking Marte here now with first base open, to get to Marsh, who's been ice cold, 1 for 4 versus 2 for 4. Yeah, I guess let's just. I'm hesitant to put him on purpose. I mean, it is a 3-1 count already. All right. Yeah, let's just. We're going to walk him. We're going to walk him. All right. And then now Marsh will step in against Fernandez. And he strikes out. Okay, so the walk pays off. But they do get another run. We need 3 to tie in the 9th. As Alejandro Rosario comes in, it will be Baldwin and then a pinch hitter and then Keishal. As Baldwin drives it fairly well to the gap, but playable. Langford brings it down. That's 1 out, and Perdomo will be pinch hit for. Yeah, he's been ice cold against righties, so Kurtz will come in. We are down to our final at bats of the game. We want our best hitters in here, and Kurtz hits it to center field, and it's just shallow enough where it steps in for a hit. Okay, so Kurtz actually runs fairly well on the base paths, so we'll leave him out there. I mean, we don't really have anyone to pinch run for him unless it lets me sub in Sharpton, but again, that might not be possible. Keyshaw strikes out. All right, so we are down to our last out here with De Jesus up to bat. He is 1 for 3 today. Let's see if he can keep this game alive. As that's hit, but will it hang up enough? No, it will not. It drops in, and the tying run will come to the plate. That is Adrian Santana. He's 1 for 4 today. 375 average so far in the playoffs. Yeah, and I don't want to pinch hit with Moss here, so this will be Santana up to bat. Game on the line. What will he do? Santana hits it well to right field, but not far enough, as that is the game, and we go down 0-2 against the Rangers. Man, that's not great. Yeah, just a lot of rough things here. For one, the home run allowed by Bourgeois, I believe, against Seager, that was a dagger. Then him getting injured afterward, also not great. Bello had a decent game, 2 earned runs. Bradish went 107 pitches. Shame we couldn't get to him more than we did. All those runs ended up mattering in the end. Yeah, just a rough game to lose. Yeah, and before I forget, let me check out the Arizona Fall League, and I don't know how to get these guys off of the Fall League roster. I don't want them on the Fall League roster. I think they're on the Peoria Javelinas, maybe. sorry. I know I've got some dead air going on here, but I'm just really trying to figure out uh, what's going on with this fall league. It's just very like they're getting stats as if they're playing in these fall league games, but then are they still available to play for us in the playoffs? Because that's more important, I think. Um, yeah, this says that DeJesus somehow played simultaneously for the Salt River Rafters. I don't know how that's the case. It's really annoying that I have to, you know, worry about that. I mean, theoretically, yeah, I. Okay, so. I'll see if I can figure this out off camera and go on to game three. So, quick injury update before we get into game three. Chris Bourgeois has, you know, not the worst case scenario, but also not really the best case scenario either. Strained shoulder, moderate injury for 3 weeks, so he can continue to play. This is the type of injury where if it happened during the regular season, I'd probably throw him on the IL. Because it's the playoffs, because this is an elimination game, he's going to stay on our roster. I figure I will use him sparingly. Like, you know, I think I had him go multiple innings in his last time out. This will probably be a like 3 outs max type of outing for him. Like, I don't want him to aggravate that injury, have it drag on potentially into next season. Yeah, but he's also our best reliever, so I'm hesitant to, you know, just stick him on the IL because our bullpen, I mean, you can look at our pitching in general, it just hasn't been great this postseason so far. You know, just looking at the FIP, like, yeah, he has a great FIP, but maybe a bit unlucky there. And then, yeah, our starters have been good. Bello and Svem both had good starts, but bullpen just couldn't get it done. And that's, you know, even though we had the second best bullpen ERA in the league, it's always been kind of a suspect. I mean, that's why I went out and traded for, no, not Brock Burke. Who did I trade for at the deadline? Not Sterling. I mean, Sieber was a starter, but I feel like I picked up another reliever as well just because I wasn't confident in our bullpen. You know, maybe it's someone I stuck in AAA. It just didn't ever use. I don't know. Anyway, I guess I can check this pretty easily, but yeah. So transactions history, trade. Oh yeah, I traded away. I traded for Brandon Fott, who did okay. That's right. He was kind of a reliever slash starter potentially, and then Herrera is on the roster. Like I could maybe look to use him in our bullpen, but he hasn't had any big league experience whatsoever, and he's also in the goddamn fall league. So okay, I don't want to have to deal with that either. But oh, as our scout made some good discoveries here at the end of the year. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. Let's get into game three. This is an elimination game, like I said before. We have tweaked the lineup slightly, mainly taking out Cutter Coffee, and Nick Kurtz will actually play first base today. Normally DHs, but DeJesus has been good in limited time at DH. Yeah, I mean, we can't see his stats because it's showing his stats from the fall league, but yeah, he will remain as our DH. I think we tweaked the lineup order slightly too. Ferris is on the mound for us today. He had a good regular season, kind of back to his form from 2028 when he was our ace. Actually had a better ERA than that season. Just less games pitched because well, he started in the bullpen. I think he was hurt for a little bit of time as well, just through less innings, but very effective overall. Hunter Green will take the mound for them today. He's also great. Like, yeah, he's, if not their ace, their number two for sure. Like, this is going to be a tough one to get past. But, series is on the line here. It's at Texas as well. Everything's kind of going against us. But, yeah, let's see if we can turn it around and pull out the win. Tyler Black gets the start at first base for them today. He hasn't played in this series yet so far. And he's a lefty, which is interesting to put him in against the lefty Ferris. I don't know why the computer makes the lineups that they do, but sure. Austin Wells. Yeah, I think the rest of these guys have been pretty much the same lineup. Okay, yeah, let's get into it. Game 3, elimination. We have to pull off the reverse sweep if we're going to win this series, but it's not impossible. We're not giving up yet. And I'd love to get some runs on the board early. I mean, it worked out that way last time, and then we didn't end up getting the win, but, that will be the most ideal situation. So let's see. PCA strikes out for out number 1. Coffee will step in, and he walks. Okay, so nice job getting the full count there, walking. Let's force him to throw a lot of pitches early. That would be great, as Keyshaw lines out there. That's out number 2. And Baldwin will step in here. See if he can get a hit. No, it's strikeout. Strike 3. So, yeah, just a walk, no hits, and Ferris will step in to face Langford here. And we will, be very judicious with our pulls. Game, series is on the line, really. If there's anyone and everyone is available to use today, even though it's only game 3, because it is an elimination game for us. As Langford gets on with a leadoff hit. He is speedy. He will maybe look to run to get himself into scoring position. There's a grounder to first, flip to second for 1, quick throw, and he's out. Nice job there, getting the double play. Bases are now empty for Paulino Santana. And that's down the right field line. That'll be extra bases as he rounds first. And who's in right field for us today? Griffin is in right field and gets it back in. As Griffin's been hot in the playoffs so far. He's still in our 9 spot, but we'll keep him there for now. And strike 3. Nice job getting out of a jam. Doubly so in this inning. 2 hits allowed, no runs scored. DeJesus will step in to face Hunter Green. And he hits it fairly well, but that's going to be playable for Langford out in left field. And Santana will step in. And that is to the gap in right center. That might be extra bases as he rounds first. He's going for 2. The ball gets in, but no problems there. He slides in, gets himself into scoring position with a double there. Nick Kurtz, his first start of the series. He had a pinch hit for us in the last game. Let's see how he does with the first base spot today. And that will not be a hit. That will be a fielder's choice. Does get the runner over to third. And it looks like it took a great... Oh, no, he's safe. Oh, he ran it out. Okay, so they just managed to keep that in the infield. And, yeah, now we have first and third with 1 out. Excellent job by Kurtz there, getting on with an infield hit. Volpe steps in, and that's to second. That might be 2. There's 1, and they turn the double play. Volpe, man, I think he's been pretty cold in this series so far. 222, so, yeah. DeJesus shows up as 0 average, by the way. He does have hits in this series, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, anyway. Austin Wells will step in. It's the lefty-lefty matchup. And he hits that one fairly well, but that should be playable for PCA as it hangs up enough. He covers a lot of ground out there. No problems there. Marte, he's been their hottest hitter. I think I say that every time he comes to the plate, but it remains true. Yeah, let's see how Ferris does against Marte. And that's hit well, fairly deep. Let's see if that'll stay in the yard. It will not. He just hits it out. And he remains hot. I mean, to the point where we might consider intentionally walking him if first base is open, because he's like prime Barry Bonds right now in this series. That's crazy. Yeah. Rincon will step in. And that is to the shortstop. Santana throws across the diamond. No problems there. They do score a run off the solo shot from Marte, though. Yeah, let me see Marte. Marte has a 1395 OPS in the playoffs so far. Like, he's just red hot. Yeah, I think if it's any type of clutch situation, we walk him. That's just what it's going to be from now on. He continually just does damage as Green strikes out there. PCA will step in. The 0-2 pitch, he hits to right field, but Santana pulls it in. They also have a Santana. Cutter Coffee. He's 1 for 9 in the playoffs so far. Let's see. He holds up and draws a walk. Nice job getting on there. So he remains 1 for 9 with the walk, and Keishal will step in here. And that's hit up the middle. It's going to be a tough play, and Bonnemer does step on second to get the last out. So still 1-0 as Ferris will face Marsh. And Marsh hits one to the gap. That'll be extra bases. So the lefty-lefty matchup not paying off there. That bounces around a bit. And, yeah, they take a while to get it back in. But it is a double, leadoff double for Marsh. And now we have Langford up with 1 on and 1 and no outs. Yeah, there's a big stretch of righties. I mean, it's crazy to take Ferris out this early, I think. You know, even though we have our full complement of guys, like, it is once through the order. I think we think about it, though. Like, we want to keep this to, like, a 2-run deficit at the max, as that's another one to the gap. Yeah, so maybe we might just go to the bullpen already in the 3rd inning. Like, that's kind of crazy, but I think with the stretch of righties up and still no outs, yeah, this might be a controversial decision, but I'm gonna do it. Yeah, postseason. We're gonna go to Sieber, who would be our Game 4 starter, but I think we just can't take any chances here down 2-0. We need to leave this. We need this to stay a close game, and we'll worry about Game 4 if and when we get there. So Sieber will come in a very high leverage spot here. 1 on, no outs, with a stretch of righties up. Like, this is as rain is beginning to fall. Okay. Pitch made, and Baldwin bounces on it to keep the runner at second. Yeah, Langford is its threat to steal here. And 3-1 pitch that's hit up the middle. That is a base hit, and that'll likely score Langford with how fast he is. Yeah. RBI single. So it's now 3-0. Santana hits that one fairly well, but playable for Griffin. So that's the first out of the inning. Walcott comes up, and that's hit to the gap. Okay, we're just falling apart here, as that's extra bases. That may score another run, depending on whether they're able to get it in or not. Yep, so it is 4-0 now. And Wells will step to the plate. And he walks. And now we have Marte up with first and second, one out. Just an awful situation. Okay. Black actually worse against righties than lefties, so what we're going to do is first base is not technically open, but we can't pitch to Marte in this situation. It's just I'm not doing it. He's getting walked to load the bases. And we will pitch to Black and hope for the double play. We're kind of going batter by batter here for Sieber, I think, you know. Black hits it fairly well to the left side of the infield. They get the out at second for one. That's all they get, but at this point we'll trade the out for the run, I suppose. Rinson is better against righties than lefties. What about Marsh? Better against... Yeah, so both of these struggle against left-handed pitching. Okay, so we're going to, bring in Gavin Jones. This is kind of crazy management here, but we're just looking to keep this game at a reasonable level of runs. Like, it's 5-0, and we cannot hold anything back. As Jones gets the out there. Okay, so he'll come back out for the fourth. Man, it's 5-0. We need some runs, and we need them bad. But with Green on the mound, that's easier said than done. As that'll be a start, as Baldwin gets a base hit, lead off single. DeJesus will step in. Green is at 54 pitches, strikes out DeJesus on 3 pitches. Santana next up. And he hits one through the gap that will advance the runner, and he's going for third, and he's out by a mile. Okay, yeah, at least from the it said it had to be a perfect throw in the live play-by-play, but at least in the 3D graphics there, he was out by a mile. Santana is at second with Kurtz up to bat. Still have one runner in scoring position, and we'll see, as there's a little grounder in front of the plate. That's no problem there. So we still fail to score, and it is still 5-0 as Jones will step in to face Marsh. And he leadoff walks Marsh, as Marsh is speedy and might look to steal here. And he does, and that ball gets away. And so he doesn't even need to steal. He gets out to second on a wild pitch. Man, this is just rough all around. As that is hit to shallow center, and that is caught by PCA. So we do get the first out of the inning. Bonnermer hits one, and that finds left field, and that may score another run. And it will. It's 6-0. Yeah, strike 3. and strike 3. Okay, so Jones does get out of it, but allows another run as Volpe will step in. Yeah, we need something going. I mean, 6-0 is not an impossible lead to overcome, but it's also, yeah, it's not looking great. We basically need a perfect game from here on out, both on offense and defense, and it's not looking like that's going to be the case here. Jones gets that one to first, and throw is off the mark. Okay. All right, so I think we have to pitch to Marte here. Just, we can't afford to put any more free runners on. I mean, we could walk him to get Black up, but yeah, let's bring in, I guess, Sterling. Actually, no. Let's bring in Strapidopoulos. Someone who can go several innings, ideally. Is that his hit well, but right to the left fielder as Keyshaw grabs that. Strapidopoulos will face Black. And that's hit to the left side of the infield. They turn 1, and they will not turn 2. As Rinson will step in. And that's hit again to Volpe, and that's out there. So nice job there. First time in 3 innings we do not allow a run. So yeah. We have Coffee, Keyshaw, Baldwin due up. Coffee strikes out. Keyshaw is 0 for 2 today. And the skies 1 to center field. It's fairly deep, but playable for Marsh. We are rapidly running out of outs here. Let's see what Baldwin can do. He does work a walk, so Baldwin managing to manufacture some offense today. De Jesus is actually 0 for 2 today. Yeah, I don't think I want to pinch hit for anybody here. Yeah, strikeout for De Jesus. So yeah, no runs on 1 walk. This will be Strapidopoulos' game for a while. Just need to eat innings, basically. So they're stealing up 6-0. So that's a walk. And Strapidopoulos is injured. Okay, great. Awesome. I would love for him to be injured in a blowout playoff game. Let's go to, I don't know, Sterling. And it's a rain delay. Okay, maybe this will be a miracle rain delay for us, like the Cubs in the 2016 World Series. Who would be the guy to give the dramatic locker room speech? Who's got the best leader on our team? I'll look later. That'll be my headcanon if we somehow come back and win this game. You know, it's not looking likely, I'd say, but crazier things have happened. So we're going to play it out. We're going to keep trying our best. Walcott works a 4-pitch walk. But this is Sterling's inning all the way. as he does get the out. That's great. We do not want to face Marte with the bases loaded and no place to put him. As they do pull their starter, no runs, 4 hits. That's, kind of what you expect when facing one of their aces. Just offense couldn't get anything done. Let's see if we can manage to get to their bullpen here. We need 6 runs, which is kind of a lot to ask, especially given how our offense has gone so far. But we'll see. As Kurt swings and steps on for the out. I might look to pinch hit for Coffee in the next inning. I don't really want to pinch hit for Volpe. Ooh, and he gets hit. Okay. So Volpe's on. And Griffin is 0 for 2 today, but has 3 hits in the series so far. As Volpe will look to steal. He is safe. Okay, so he gets himself into scoring position. I mean, every run matters at this point. If Griffin can manage to get a hit here, he cannot. He strikes out. Okay. All right. Marte. I will leave in Sterling to face Marte, and then it will be somebody else, probably. Strike 3. Okay, so this is the second consecutive time we got Marte out. Black is 0 for 3, I think, and he is not good against righties, so Sterling will face him as well, and then I think we'll maybe make a change. Strike out. Okay. Rinsone. Sterling's been doing well. We'll let him maybe finish out the inning. No. Okay. Rinsone does work a walk, so we will bring in a lefty. I think it'll be Imanaga. Yeah, Imanaga to face Marsh here. I mean, we're emptying our bullpen because might as well. Strikes out. Nice job by Imanaga. All right, so bullpen settling in finally, but kind of too little too late as we have a 6-0 gap to overcome. PCA doesn't get it out of the infield. We're down to our last 6 outs. Well, last 5 outs now. Coffee is 0 for 1 today. I think this is the pinch hit spot right here. And we have, Cooper Kinney will come in to pinch hit. He's been good against righties. Let's see if, coming off the bench, if he's more effective than he has been at first base so far this series. No, he strikes out. Okay. Great job there. Keyshaw will step in as he walks. Okay. And Baldwin will step in. He's been one of the few effective hitters today. Let's see if we can get something here with 2 outs. So that's hit, but might hang up enough for the left fielder to make a play, and Langford does. So we have just 1 inning left to overcome this 6-0 gap here. I think what we're going to do is we are going to leave Cooper Kinney in to play first base, and then bring in Scott Sharpton to play third. Get him in at bat in this game. Imanaga, as they have a bunch of righties up. And we have Leiter available. We have Fernandez available. Leiter's slightly tired. Fernandez. Yeah, let's bring in Fernandez, I think, to face this slew of righties. Struck out. Okay. Bottomer. And that is hit, but playable for Keyshaw. And that is hit, but also playable for Keyshaw. All right, so that's a 1-2-3 inning for Fernandez. I mean, the bullpen did settle in, but it was just kind of too little, too late. Down to our final 3 outs to Jesus, Santana, Sharpton, with Volpe potentially up after that. Maybe I looked to pinch hit there. I don't know, but we'll have to get there first. LaGrange at 38 pitches. Let's see if maybe they leave him in, even though he's gonna probably be tired soon. No, he's still at 44 pitches, and oh yeah, they're kind of yeah. This is like a long reliever type for them, I'm guessing. Yeah, I mean they're not bringing in their closer when they're up 6-0. So, all right, let's see what we can do here. Santana hits one to the gap. That'll get down just off the wall. Almost got a solo shot there, but we need runners, and we have one aboard. So they bring in Robert Stevenson. So not willing to take any chances here. I mean, it makes sense. It is the playoffs. Sharpton will step in to face Stevenson. See what the rookie can do here. The rookie hits one to the left side of the infield. I mean, that advances the runner, but now we have our... we are down to our last out. And Volpe... Do we have anyone better to pinch hit for Volpe? I think no. You know, let's see what he can do. And he strikes out to end the game. So we are swept by the Rangers in the playoffs. Yeah, not a great series overall. Yeah, Noel V. Marte was named MVP. Wow, I'm shocked by that result. Yeah, Ferris was not great. Sieber attempted to come in and shut it down, did not do the job. Jones gave up some runs. Strapidopoulos got hurt, and I'm, a little nervous as to what that means. And then, from then on, the bullpen was fairly effective, but again, kind of too little, too late. Maybe I should have gone to my bullpen arms. Maybe I should have just left Ferris in the game, let him try to work out of his own jam. But I was, just really trying to prevent that big inning, and they got it anyway. Not that it mattered. We didn't end up scoring any runs in the game, and you can't really win games if you don't score runs. So put that kind of on our offense too. Santana did well. Kurtz was 500 in the series. Yeah, a lot of zeros out there. Cooper Kinney, especially disappointing. He was 0 for 7 in the series after doing well for most of the season. PCA had an 0 for in this game, although he was better in the first 2 games of the series. DeJesus, I don't know what his actual line in this series was, because it was weirdly having him play double time for the Peoria Javelinas. So, I mean, I think I'll talk a bit more just about the season as a whole, just so like this video, it's not obvious that I lose in 3 games, I guess. I don't know if people are paying attention to how long these videos are or what, but yeah, let me figure out what I want to talk about here. All right, so it is a torn meniscus for Strapidopoulos. Like, not the worst case scenario, but not great either, as he'll miss 3 to 4 months with an injury. I mean, we're eliminated, so that'll still put him in line to start the next season for us at least. But, you do worry about those serious injuries and the effect that they have on players' potential. Ooh, that does, I realize, also mean that he will not be able to participate in any dev lab activities this off season, which really sucks. But yeah, what can you do there? Steven Martinez also likely going to be ineligible, at least for the first round of those. Cam Leiter has a day-to-day injury, sinusitis. I don't, whatever. Anyway, I guess let's go ahead and go back to playoff coverage as the Tigers sweep the Yankees 3-0. The Mets have beaten the Stars 3-1, and the Dodgers-Brewers series going to Game 5. And the Brewers do come out victorious there. So let's just see who ends up winning the World Series. As the Rangers take a 1-0 lead over the Tigers. The Tigers would have to be the big favorites here, I imagine. But don't count out the Rangers as they even up the series 2-2. The Mets are up on the Brewers, and the Brewers-Mets series going to a full 7 games. And the Tigers do beat the Rangers 4-2. The Brewers come out on top in that 7-game series. Let's see. 2-1 is the final score. So any dramatics? Not really. The Mets tried to come back in the 8th, but yeah, Sandy Alcantara still sticking around, still doing well. He will be a free agent next year. Yeah, we'll have to decide what to do with our free agents next year. I could talk a little bit about that after the playoffs are done. Brewers Tigers. One of these teams will come out victorious, and they, I think both are on either. I don't think the Brewers have ever won, and I think the Tigers, it's been a very long time. So one of these teams, as the Brewers take a 3-0 lead on the Tigers, as Bourgeois is healthy. It's been 3 weeks already. Let's see. Okay. As we do get to the international showcase, so I guess I'll show that on here. The first round of the international showcase. All right, as we get to, let's see. You kind of get to see me evaluate players in real time. I don't know if that's exciting for people, but we've kind of got some chance to do that here as, international amateurs, all players. This is what I usually do, just filter by prospects, which is just anyone that's at most 25 and 2.5 stars or higher. Throw these guys on a short list and then go from there. So Luis Medina looks pretty good. Let's see, do any of these guys look like legit 5-star, like can't miss kind of prospects? I don't think anyone coming out of international free agency probably fits that bill. Danny Sanchez is probably the closest. He has really good hitting ratings. He is durable. Not bad outfield ratings. His error is a little low, but he could play corner outfield no problem. So definitely my favorite of the players, out of the 5-star players. Let's see here. I like to look at the pitchers too, just because there's Tony Hernandez, I think, has been hanging out here, since 2030. He was in the last class and no one bothered to sign him. It's just they end up throwing. There's a lot of relievers that end up coming out for whatever reason. There's very few starting pitchers in the international free agent pool, I'd say. Let's see, as we'll go to IFA. interest right now is very low. I don't think it will stay that way. I'll throw Riki Oshima on there for now. I don't think any of these guys. Let's look at Raul Herrera, I guess. He's cheap, but I'm not super interested in him. Okay, so some of these other guys, let's see. So I liked Danny Sanchez. We've got Alex Soto. Yeah, all of these guys are very low to start. Mike Magosa starts at an average relationship with us. I don't hate that. The risk too, I don't know how much that actually matters or is accurate. That's a new feature this year. Just like how it's basically supposed to simulate how, like, what their likelihood of reaching their final potential is. The problem is there's no low potential guys in here. They're all at least medium. And then, extreme. Yeah, let's see. Juan Cotto. We have Juan Soto at home. Ruben Cabral. Yeah, I mean, he looks decent for like a 3.5-star player. Like, we'll probably look to get some guys that have a little bit lower of an ask if they make sense. Like a Felipe Vasquez, he makes sense. William Morales, like, yeah, he's a 5-star player. Like, these guys do look good, don't get me wrong, but I just, like, this is probably a year where I look to get more prospects rather than shelling out for one big name. Although I do like the look of Ramon Romero, honestly. Like, 80 power potential catcher with good defensive ratings. Okay. Let's look to. I'll just want to see. Let's look batting draft. Pardo has a 60 range in the infield, but his other ratings are not great. Luis Barrera looks solid. I'll invite him. Sort by power potential. Ernesto Rios. I don't love his avoid Ks. Jose Diaz. I don't love his avoid Ks. Kind of all the same archetype hitter here. Pardo. Yeah, I mean, Pardo's good. Sanchez has no defense to speak of, but I've got to be getting close to full, I think. Yeah, I think Danny Sanchez is still my favorite of the bunch, honestly. Sanchez, I like Ramon Romero too, but Sanchez is a little more developed too. Like, he's 16 and already has 30 contact. That's pretty good. Like, he could probably play in rookie league ball next year or be very close. Yeah. Let me see what we're at here. No, not development lab. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, that'll work. Melgosa up to strong already. And Shima is better than expected, even though his ratings went down. Okay. Vasquez went a little down. Sanchez went a little down. All right. But yeah, that's the international showcase. Let's see who comes out on top as the Tigers have pulled back to make it a 3-2 series. And the Brewers do come out on top. So I'm not going to actually go to the off season yet. I want to see some other things. For one, let me see. I kind of just like to do this just to see where, the CPU thinks we stand in different categories. Um, yeah, so our rotation next year looks like Jones, Sieber, Bellows, Svem, Imanaga is a question mark. Um, he wants to come back, but I don't know if I want to sign him for 14 million. I mean, let's see if his demands change in the off season, I guess. And do we have anyone else that is set to be? I think Keyshaw is a free agent after this year. He is. Those are the big ones, honestly. I don't know if there's anyone else. Yeah, a bunch of guys in the minors. Gian Zapata is, but I mean, he put up negative WAR in the minor leagues this year. Like, I think his time on our team is done. So yeah, Keyshaw we might look to bring back. He had a good season, depending on how much he wants. Yeah, thinking of trades, and I do like to show this screen. This shows your best trades by WAR, which is not always the best metric with which to judge these trades, but I think it's worth looking at this, um, just to kind of see, all these trades that it's been a few years, how good or bad were they ultimately. The best trade by WAR is getting Drake Baldwin, which that's not too surprising. He's put up 8.7 WAR for us total since trading for him. And the only person we gave up Garcia, who's kind of performing just at a backup level for them, and no one else has really made any significant impact at all. Sanchez isn't even on the team anymore. Like, I even swapped out someone that I thought was worse for Caldwell, who I thought maybe had some potential, and he still hasn't done anything. So, yeah, that was just a trade that always looked like it was in our favor, and kind of, yeah, definitely played out that way. The Kevin Kelly trade, our second best trade, for a half a season of Kevin Kelly, and they do still have Vargas on their team, and he's been, not great, but a consistent contributor at least. But in that trade, we got Gavin Jones, who has come in and put up great numbers for us. He's pitched 3 solid seasons. Last year, he pitched at a, close to Cy Young level. And then Martinez has been a solid contributor for 2 seasons now as well. So we do still have Eddie Aguilar, who's cooking in the minors. Like, he could potentially come up and do something. Rangel and Bullho both are not looking to be much of anything, but, for half a season of Kevin Kelly, like, I'd give that up every time. And then, yeah, our 1-for-1 trade, Imanaga for Mordon, like, that also just looked like a slam dunk right away. And Mordon has put up .3 WAR in the majors, while Imanaga has pitched 2 solid seasons for us. Like, he was better last year than this year, but still not bad this year. Like, he could still be a back end starter, I think. And then Nolan Jones, we traded him to Cincinnati and got Landon Rope. Chase Petty, who I think that entire 2.5 WAR was in his, like, half a season with us. Yeah, he just pitched lights out the back half of that year. Then was disappointing in 2030, and we traded him for, he was part of the PCA trade, which is curiously not on this list, at least in the positives. So I'll be interested to see. I know I can expand that out more. And then, yeah, our final trade here was getting Johnny DeLuca, who again raked for one season. We gave up Trevor Rogers in 2029, and he did well for one season and then fell off like after that. So yeah, not bad overall. And then the trades that we've lost by war, yeah, I mean this one hurts. Zapata like kind of stunk it up after um, his initial season with us. Sinja has gone on to be a very solid starter for them. Um, Despite only the 35 stamina, he's put up 1.7 and then 2.0 WAR across 2 seasons with them. Montero has kind of bounced between the big leagues and the minor leagues. That's kind of how he was with us, and then Burkholder kind of the same thing. But losing Sinja, I mean, I guess giving up on Sinja, might have given up too early on him. Maybe, I mean, he was having a pretty bad start to the year. Maybe I should have let him have a little more leeway, but again, I think I gave him multiple chances and he wasn't performing. And I thought Zapata looked like he was on the rise, and he put up okay numbers for us in 2030 and then just fell off a cliff this year. I don't know what happened there. Our half season of Bo Naylor was not worth it at all, as Brock Selvage has gone on to put up, he actually had done better, but they continued to pitch him even though his ratings have declined, and he lost WAR this season. So, this was a worse trade for us before him having a disastrous season. And then the Nick Kurtz trade has not been great either, as Wyatt Sanford has gone on to be a solid starter for them this year. Just that's only been one season so far, but we also gave up a lot to get Kurtz. Mr. Happy Dimitri is retired already. Yeah, I mean, Sanford is really the big loss here, and we knew that going into it. He was blocked at the major league level, so I mean, I think was still an okay trade to make. Ben Williamson was like minor league depth and ended up having 1.3 WAR. This is just on here because none of these guys have done anything. Some of these guys are still hanging around in the organization, but yeah, not great return. And then I think kind of the same deal with Yuki Matsui. Yeah, just none of these guys. Eddie Rinders, I think he was part of the Griffin Jacks trade. Yeah, he was part of the Griffin Jacks trade. Actually, just straight up traded him for Griffin Jacks and DeCaro and Bushell. So, Griffin Jacks, by the way, went on to do even worse for Toronto than he had done for us. So I don't really regret trading him. At least we got an arm back that has some decent potential. Let's look and see. So, where's the PCA trade? I would think that was a positive trade for us, but must not have been that positive. Here's the Keyshaw trade, as Trey Gibson has gone on to be a beast with Minnesota. 5.2 WAR. Maybe not a beast, but a very solid contributor. And I think he was kind of borderline in our rotation when we traded him. Yeah, I think he had been, kind of just a mid-level starter for us. And, his numbers haven't been spectacular for Minnesota, but he's eaten a lot of innings for them. And that in itself is valuable, I suppose. But, yeah, let's see. We still come out ahead, though, because Keyshaw put up 6.3 WAR. Waters was with negative 2.1 WAR. Okay, so he's kind of dragged down the rest of everyone else. Bautista for Kavaris Tears. That's just been straight up a good trade for us, as Bautista had one really good year and then did okay in relief for us this year. Kyle Schwarber put up negative WAR, and we got a positive player back in Gamble. Also, Danny Lopez, who's still hanging out in the minors and may see playing time at some point. Gustavo Herrera is on here solely just for not being Griffin Jack's kind of addition by subtraction there. And interestingly, the PCA trade has been pretty even so far. I think we are very slightly ahead. We're like zero point 0.4 WAR ahead. As Siani has put up pretty good numbers for Chicago, and then Petty has had a decent 2 seasons as well. Yeah, and then our best acquisitions, Santana has been our best overall player, at least by WAR. Baldwin Kinney, jumping back onto this list with the 2 WAR season this year. Jones Snelling, we gotta hope that he manages to recover next year. Cutter Coffee, Jackson Ferris, Keyshaw, Volpe, and PCA. Our greatest loss in Trey Gibson, Luis Guanipa. He was part of the Keyshaw trade, I believe. Yeah, he was the biggest loss. Well, him and Gibson, both part of that same trade. And he looks decent, but just has never. He's just not at the same level as Keyshaw has been, I think. James Gonzalez was on our team for about 2 days. Shouldn't really be on here. Zanatello having a decent season as well. He was the big loss in the trade for Karsten Swim. We also got back John Clevenger in that trade. Alex Gutierrez, who is still coming along in the minors, although he ruptured his MCL and misses 6 months. So he will miss the start of next season probably. Yeah, not great there. And then, yeah, Siani, Petty, Sanford, Selvage, Garcia. I think we've mentioned all those names before. So, that little bit of a disappointing season, good regular season, and then getting swept in the playoffs. That's never how you want to go out. It happens, though. I mean, the baseball playoffs are fairly random. Yeah, it's just a bad 3 games and you're done. And that's pretty much what happened to us. So all you can do is keep grinding and keep making the playoffs and hoping that things work out. I think we're going to run back largely the same team next year. I don't know who's going to be available in free agency. We can kind of look at that in the next episode once we get into the off season proper. It's hard to say that a 98-64 season is a disappointment, but you definitely expected and hoped to go farther than the first round of the playoffs. I guess technically the second round of the playoffs, the division series, but kind of the goal would have been World Series here, and getting swept by a team that was, not as good as you by record is just not a great feeling. But I guess still a good season overall. Can't forget that. Yeah, we just got to keep doing what we're doing, and eventually that World Series will come. I just have to hope that. And we will keep playing on until it happens. So thanks for joining me here. Thanks for entertaining my rambling here. Yeah, we have an interesting off season. I don't know in terms of, I guess I can talk for a little bit more just to see. Yeah, we'll go make sure that there's nothing I need to deal with before opening day. I'll save just in case. Good score. Okay. Cool. All right. So we have lots of option year decisions. Landon Rott, Brock Burke, Ryan Fernandez. Ryan Fernandez definitely coming back. Brock Burke probably coming back. Landon Rott maybe coming back. He got hurt right early on in the season. Um, yeah, we'll need to see. Drake Baldwin. Oh, that's right. His last year was a player option, so we'll need to figure out what to do about Drake Baldwin in the offseason. That is a big question mark because we don't really have any sort of catcher that can replace him at the moment. And Hunter Terrell. Yeah, let's look at the minor league system report real quick. We are 21st. Yeah, they do not like our minor league system, which, I mean, we've been drafting fairly high in the draft the last few years, so it makes sense that we're not super high in there. Yeah, I think we kind of missed out by Swim and Clevenger not breaking the top 100. You could maybe make arguments for those guys. Um, Sutsumi looks good though, and Wrath looks good though. And we do have guys like Phil Feldman who have a lot of potential. Yeah, we'll have to see. Let's see, salary arbitration. Yeah, Bello, Ferris, Jones, all eligible for arbitration. I think. I don't remember if Ferris was in his first year last year, but Jones, this is his first year. He might be someone that we look to extend, maybe, if the price makes sense. Cooper Kinney, I think we're going to still keep going year by year. Cutter Coffee, maybe also an extension target. Bello and Ferris, I want to see more than one good season, even though Bello had a great season this year, like really turned things around. And then Baldwin, Imanaga, Keyshaw. So yeah, we do actually have a lot of question marks in the off season here that we'll need to figure out. So I will see you guys in the off-season episode. We're now up to average market size, above average fan loyalty. So those Oakland fans are showing up for us, showing up for a good team. Who'd have thought that when you spend money and put a good team in Oakland, people would come to see it? Yeah, I not throwing shade at anyone in particular, but just an observation there. Thanks for watching. Thanks for yeah, putting up with the kind of pointless rambling here at the end of this video. Hopefully you like the series. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Gonna keep putting these out for I at least play franchises through most of the time until I win the World Series. So you can look forward to that. And even then, it's fun to go for potential dynasties afterward. And so, yeah, I'm not, anywhere close to done with this series, I'd say. Still got plenty of juice left in it, as it were. And yeah, we'll have a lot of interesting questions to kind of address in the off season here. Yeah, way more than I expected, actually, with a lot of guys going to arbitration and Baldwin and Keyshaw both pending free agents. And let's take a peek here and see who else might be a free agent. Carson Williams, Lawrence Butler, Austin Wells is an intriguing name. If we don't re-sign Baldwin, that is a name we could go for. Although he is 32, but I think he's also, well, is he better than Baldwin? I don't know. Yeah, some interesting names out here for sure. But yeah, thanks for watching. And yeah, tell everyone you know about the fictional Oakland A's and their exploits and losses in the first round of the playoffs. Exciting stuff. All right. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.